Hey, book buddies! Thrilled to welcome you to Read Hurray! Megan is 8, a huge book lover, totally obsessed with books. She has been gobbling up books ever since she could remember, and has explored countless worlds through pages of amazing stories. She wants to share not only with me, but with you, and build book-loving community together. Let's jump into our next reading adventure with Megan.
It's me, Megan, your favorite podcaster. Today I'm going to introduce you a book called Robodog. Obviously this book is about a robot dog, as its name is called Robodog. This story is about a chief of police and a professor, what is called a boffin, but I'm not really sure about what boffins are, because I've heard of it in another story called Space Boy, which is also by David Walliams. If I book review that, you might hear about that. This boffin, or you might want to call it professor, built a Robodog because the chief of police was disappointed about having not one police dog graduating training for being a police dog. So she built a robot dog, but then there was one problem, because they had a cat called Velma, and as she said, I am not programmed to love dogs. But Robodog said the exact opposite things. I am made to love cats. And Velma said, I am made to not love dogs. And then Velma locked Robodog in the laboratory. But then Robodog used his laser eye, which is really cool. I like that idea. Robodog also saved the city a lot. Once he even saved $1 billion from Hammer Hands and Mighty Minds, which are one of the baddies I'll talk about later. To save a city is a really hard job. Afterwards, Robodog wanted to be a pet. The evil cats, which are Velma and a few others, I forgot who they are. Anyway, those evil cats attacked the dogs and they kidnapped Professor and the chief of police. And Robodog and his friends, which were at least 4, were outnumbered by the baddies, which were like probably 2 times their size, like their number. So Plank triggered the argument of who was the baddest baddie. The baddies fought because Plank said fight in order to tell them that if you fight, you might be able to work out who the baddest baddie is. So they fought, and every baddie was, they were too exhausted and they lay on the floor doing nothing, either frothing at the mouth or only a teeny bit of their powers coming out. So they were all back to jail by the help of the dogs. Every dog was allowed to be a police dog now, but then Robodog wasn't there. So Robodog was actually in the living room in an armchair thinking about him wanting to be a pet. So they will be happy to be. They said, like Professor and Chief said, they will be happy to be his owner. But at night time, when Robodog was still sleeping, there was a knock on the window, and Ratty, which is one of Robodog's friends I'm going to talk about later, came through the window and said, let's go catch up some baddies. And then Robodog said, okay, that's the better idea than sleeping. Anyway, so because Robodog had wings, they glided through the dark and went off to find baddies. That was a pretty good story. So let's meet the characters in the story. There's Robodog, Ratty, the Professor, and the Chief of Police, Velma, and many others. I'd like to introduce some of the baddies to you. There's Mighty Minds, Hammer Hands, about what I told you about the $1 billion just now, and also the Masked Honker and the Politician, and many others. You can get to read some things about them if you get that book, because there are a few pages with the baddies and the heroes in the book, so you can know what are their superpowers or what they're on about. Yes, stuff like that. So, if I ever mentioned Velma and her cats, I think I mentioned Velma. Anyway, Velma and her cats, she called some of her cats in so she can have war on the dogs. But then Plank was too clever for her. Well, not Plank, but Robodog was too clever for her. Anyway, so this story is set in Bedlam. It was smelly, it was dark, it was full of crime doers, including all the baddies, and round rivers of water. You can imagine how bad it is living in that environment, because you wouldn't have clear water to drink, there wasn't much police, dogs, or policemen or women to take care of you. It really wasn't a good place to be, I have to say. So I like Robodog most because his body parts are made out of washing machine bits. I really like that idea. That was pretty good. The problem was something. I would say that it was because the heroes were outnumbered, because the baddies were out of prison, and because of Mighty Mind, and he made some really weird plan again and they got out. The heroes were outnumbered, including Plank and Robodog, but then because all of them were arguing about who was the baddest baddie, Mighty Mind said, "I am the baddest baddie since I helped you out." But then the others disagreed. So Plank triggered the argument, and that was the solution. Plank triggered the argument by saying there's only one way to find out who the baddest baddie is. She said, fight. One word. And they did fight. And was really successful because afterwards all the baddies were either lying on the ground or a bit of the powers coming out of their body while lying down. Which at least everybody was lying down, except the two-headed ogre, which was still fighting over itself. So I felt really excited when I first read this new book. It was really romantic, really tense. I liked the parts which Robodog was determined, and he was determined to save his owner from the evil cat and the baddies, and save Bedlam, save the city. And yeah, I like this book. I would give this book 10 out of 10, definitely, because 5 stars for amazing and adventurous. I really loved how they're really adventurous, like, you know, there's some baddies, they're heroes, but the heroes are outnumbered. It's really interesting, and it's really making you want to read it. Yeah, I love that as well. 4 stars for good ideas. I love their ideas really much because they used imagination. I know a real lady can't have hammers as hands, like hammer hands. Oh my god, tongue twister. Hammers, hands, hammer hands. Anyway, I really liked how they imagined stuff. I really liked the ideas of the baddies outnumbered, so it makes them more interesting. That's really good ideas. And finally 1 star because they added comics, you know the part I said about Hammer Hands and Mighty Mind stealing $1 billion from the bank? That was actually a comic strip. So I hope to see you next time, guys. Check out all of my podcasts. Keep reading and stay tuned. Bye, guys.